So what I'm going to show you now is how to make a bechamel, or a white sauce that's going to go on lasagna. Now, some people will add ricotta cheese. I personally don't really like the taste of ricotta cheese. I prefer using the bechamel, the white sauce, when I'm making the lasagna, and it's going to be one of the saucy layers that we'll add in when I show you whenever we assemble the lasagna. But you're going to start with 5 tablespoons of butter, which is what I've got here. Okay, and we're going to begin to melt this. And you want equal tablespoons of butter to flour. And the bechamel sauce is a very, very simple sauce. All it is butter, flour, and milk. Now you can add a little bit of salt if you like. Some people may add in pepper or parsley. I like to keep it very basic because Italian cooking in general is very, very simple, very basic. So it's going to be butter, flour, and then milk. If you want to make it a cheese sauce, you can by adding in cheese, but we're not doing that in this particular sauce. Okay, let our butter start to melt down. Now you can use the doppio zero flour like I'm about to, or you can use the regular all-purpose flour. Either way is fine. The flour taste is going to cook out as you make the sauce, and you want the sauce to be particularly thick but still viscous enough in order to be able to spread out on your lasagna, and I'll show you the right consistency once we get there. You want to melt out your butter, being careful not to overcook it or brown it. And one way that you can get your butter to melt down faster is to cut it into smaller pieces. While that's melting, I'll go ahead and get my whisk. Also, while I'm doing this, because we're coming to the last few steps, we still have to roll out our dough and make our lasagna dough sheets, but we're coming to our last few steps of making our lasagna. Our sauce is going to be cooking for almost near a full hour now, and it's going to mature and it's going to be ready for us to assemble our lasagna. But I went ahead and started preheating my oven to 350 degrees. Okay, and our butter is melted. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the flour. Remember, 5 tablespoons of butter. We're going to go ahead and add in 5 tablespoons of flour. And you want to go ahead and mix it as you're doing it. And we're almost making kind of like a roux. And ooh, I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat down because I don't want to burn anything. Here's 4 and 5. Okay, we're going to go ahead and give this a stir and incorporate it all the way into our butter. Okay, and when we got this over the heat, what it's going to do is it's going to start cooking at that flour, so you won't have that floury taste, but you don't want it to cook too long before you start adding in the milk. So it's about 1 1/4 cup of milk. You want to make sure that you are using whole milk in this recipe, so full fat milk for sure. And we're going to add it in slowly because we want, and I'm just eyeballing it here, but we want to make sure that our flour and butter mixture fully dissolves. We don't want to have any clumps in our bechamel sauce. A little bit more. So as it heats, the sauce is going to thicken up. And like I said, it's going to cook out the flour, the floury taste. You definitely, as you make this, want to make sure that you are constantly stirring so nothing sticks or burns to the bottom of the pan. Turn up my heat a little bit. Now I've been making bechamel sauce for a while, so I know when to eyeball my milk, but for those of you at home making this, 1 1/4 cup is what you want. Just make sure that you're adding it in slowly. And if you feel that you need to add a little bit more, definitely add in a splash at a time. So this all comes together very quickly. I say about 5 minutes total. And if you want to come see the consistency here of the sauce, you can kind of see that it has a good thickness to it. It's not quite where we need it. And as it's heated, it will continue to get thicker. But as you can tell, it's definitely not a particularly loose sauce. It is a rather thick sauce. And as you can see, actually right now, it's come to that good thick consistency that we're wanting. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut the heat. And this is the consistency that you want. Not too runny, but definitely, scoopable, something that you can add into your lasagna for sure. But this is the consistency that you want right here. Not liquidy at all. And as a matter of fact, to ensure the cooking process completely stops, I'm going to remove it off the burner. But that's the bechamel sauce. Here in just a moment, I'm going to roll out our pasta dough and begin making our lasagna sheets.